Welcome to Digimon Explained. My name is Jesse, and in this video we're going to be discussing a fan-made Digimon. Always very exciting to do that, considering how talented some of the artists out there are. I can't let their work just be put at the side, as they sometimes give us more information about Digimon, or at least another point of view on how to look at the franchise. Before we go ahead, let me first give you some context. I once made a post about a Digimon made by Filippo Droz, who made a Digimon by combining WarGreymon elements with the Pokémon Empoleon. It was a great video, go and check it out if you haven't already. In that same post, someone named Ali Mohammed posted a link towards an alternative Digivolution line for Gabumon. There isn't an official name for it, but for now let us call it Furless Gabumon. There is an important distinction to be made between Gabumon with and without fur. That is why both are such interesting Digimon to study. You see, in this channel, Gabumon is the rookie that I probably made most videos about, and it is likely that this here is not the last one. Where to start? Let me say that there is more to this Digimon than meets the eye. Literally. Digimon lore says that Gabumon always gathers up the data which Garurumon leaves behind and shapes it into a fur pelt to wear, making it more confident. Now we theorized that the Garurumon data transformed into a fur pelt is what ultimately makes a Gabumon digivolve into a Garurumon. Reasons are quite simple. You could say that Gabumon's data, or maybe better said, its DNA changed and was given the necessary sequence to make it digivolve into Garurumon because of the Garurumon data left behind and used by Gabumon. If we follow this logic, it would mean that Gabumon's champion might not be Garurumon at all. In fact, we made a video claiming that CYCLONEMON could be Gabumon's true champion form. Can't get much into the details here, but if you are curious to know why and what arguments were made, you can always click on the link in the description box. Now, before I go ahead, I do want to add the following. As Digimon is a big franchise, obviously there will be many contradictions, which is normal, and a lot of stuff that simply will not make sense. Let me explain. When we follow Gabumon's profile, normally it shouldn't take the Garurumon route because Gabumon is a reptile type and Garurumon is an animal beast type. However, when we take a look at Metal Garurumon's chest, we see the same symbol Gabumon has on its belly. In a sense, this would link both of them, but even if we use the excuse that a Digimon could pretty much digivolve into any other Digimon, still it doesn't makes sense because, again, Gabumon is of the reptile type and most reptile type Digimon never take the canine route. Gabumon should be taking a similar direction to Agumon as they are both reptile with quite similar physical features. Psychemon, another Gabumon variant, when you follow one of its Digivolution lines, it even becomes Belphemon, a demon dragon Digimon. And dragons, reptiles and dinosaurs in Digimon usually tend to evolve into one or another. Anyway, that was to give you some context. Ali Mohammed suggested that we took a look at a Furless Gabumon Digivolution line made by, drums please, Poyomon. Please find your way into the Twitter account by clicking on the link in the description box, and please tell the author that the Digimon Explained channel adored the design and is thanking the author for his or her contribution to a franchise I adore. And I'm not joking, if you have a Twitter account, please go and thank the author. I'm hoping that the Digimon community gets together and support one another, and the best way is to show appreciation for one another. Let us start with the rookie form. It is a Gabumon, but one who shows more confidence, which is very different and yet very important to know when talking about this one. The reason why Gabumon is using Garurumon's pelt, or Garurumon's data, is for defense and intimidation purposes, considering its shy personality. That is why we theorized that the data probably in a way corrupted Gabumon, making it digivolve into Garurumon instead of following its own natural Digivolution line. Ali Mohammed wrote the following about this Gabumon. The Digimon is basically a Gabumon with few differences. It is furless. We can assume it either abandoned its fur pelt or was in an area of the Digimon world where it didn't find the necessary data. This rookie Digimon's biggest obstacle was to overcome its personality. When it learned to become brave and hold its ground, that's when it digivolved. Merlin Hans Hikivi added the following: "This Gabumon surpassed its timid nature and thus became a faster and more skilled fighter, but has lower defense due to the loss of Garurumon's Mithril Heart belt. This Gabumon is probably more willing to stab people with its horn and is probably living around some canyon where it tries to blend in with the background to avoid unnecessary trouble." Being aware of Gabumon's natural timid nature, we could safely assume that the furless one either grew confident up to a point it didn't need the pelt, just like Ali Mohammed claimed, or it might also be that it wasn't in an environment in close proximity to Garurumon who would leave its data behind. Think about it, how would Gabumon even get access to Garurumon's data? Garurumon is a Digimon whose natural habitat is none other than freezing lands. Gabumon, as a reptile Digimon, would normally always avoid those areas. Not that no reptiles can be found in freezing areas, but it is highly exceptional. There is an Agumon variant, on the other hand, that lives in snowy fields, and its body color and even skill set changed completely due to adaptation. And something similar would have probably happened to Gabumon if it was in snowy fields for extended periods of time. It does make me curious to know how Gabumon even came to Garurumon's data. If you have some theories, please write it down in the comment section. And also, for those who haven't seen it, I made an entire video theorizing about SNOWAGUMON's Digivolution line. Link of it is in the description box. Now, as we are missing names, some of you were so kind to give a new name, and some were very interesting. Marine Solar suggested naming it Coatlessmon or Furlessmon. Generic McName called it Naked Gabumon. I would have simply called it Gabumon Furless. It is still a Gabumon after all. When it digivolves, it would become this canine Digimon, which sparked some interesting criticism. Not everyone agreed with this one, and I do understand why. But let me first show you all the names that was given to it, that way we can focus on what has been said. Ali Mohammed named it Reptile Garurumon. Marine Solar suggested to call it Lizardogmon or Furless Gabumon. Furless Gabumon is actually more suitable for this Digimon as it does resemble a variant of Garurumon, but with more reptile features when you look at its tail. But Marine gave us an explanation, a good explanation, by saying the following: Coat or Furless because this Digimon didn't found any leftover data from Garuru or any furry Digimon. Being a rookie, fighting those would be suicide, so if nothing is found as leftovers, it will digivolve into a lizard-like dog, hence Lizardogmon, or even a Furless Garuru. Being a champion makes it more confident, and it starts picking up fights with, in this particular case, a Garurumon. If it wins, it rips off the coat and wears it. Richmond Kennedy suggested to call it Chupcabramon or Manjimon, as many sightings of Chupcabra turned out to be wild canines. I think both are fitting. My Hebrew friend called it CYCLONEMON, probably in reference of CYCLONEMON. Very interesting choice. And to finish, Slick Otaku called it Monitormon, which to me sounds a bit too digital in a way for a canine type Digimon, but I do get why it would be called like that. It does look like the type to stand on a mountaintop to monitor the surroundings in search for prey. My personal opinion, while I do love the design and give it a 10 out of 10 just for the looks, I don't know if I see it as an appropriate champion Digivolution for a Furless Gabumon, because it went from the bipedal reptile Gabumon to a quadrupedal canine Digimon. What I do adore is its tail and the horn, but especially the tail. It is clearly one for reptiles, and it's an important physical trait because Gabumon is a reptile. Ali Mohammed wrote the following: a more brutal Digimon. It always thinks with its claws and fangs. It is fast and strong, and it has hardened skin that compares to Garurumon's fur, if not greater. This Digimon doesn't stay in one place for long. The more it sees of the world, the more it learns and the more power it gains. Its greatest weakness, though, is that it goes into battle head first without thinking. Gaining victories got into its head, and because of it, it doesn't care who is its opponent. A rookie or champion or ultimate, when it tastes its first bitter defeat and slowly starts using its head, with tactics, that is when its true might will be released. Ali Mohammed wanted to make this champion Digimon struggle with something the same way Gabumon struggled with its personality. By giving it obstacles to overcome, it would end up learning the importance of tactics. So, via a combination of tactics, intelligence and power, it would be reaching its full potential, and after some experience, it would digivolve into its next form. And its next form, to me, is extremely well done and in my eyes, very suitable to be considered a natural ultimate digivolution of Gabumon. The horn is still there along with Gabumon's chest symbol. It is bipedal like most reptile Digimon and even dinosaur type. It has the Gabumon colors and also looks like a Gabumon who made the biggest personality development. From being and looking very timid to a point it used the pelt of another Digimon to make up for what it was lacking, to becoming a Digimon that became itself very intimidating just by the looks, and also it stands like one you do not want to provoke. Now, some of you did claim that it resembles a WarGreymon. I'm not sure of that, to be honest. It looks way too rough and pointy to even be considered a werewolf. Also, both don't even look to be closely related to one another. The one has much fur, the other does not. Their tails are also way too different, as it shows that they are from totally different species. But I do have to say, I do like how the new Ultimate is wearing GARURUMON'S pelt. It looks as if it is worn more like a trophy than for intimidation purposes, which would in fact make it even more intimidating. Ali Mohammed even wrote that the fur pelt it wears is either to send a message or because it has a deep hate for GARURUMON species. In a way, it is almost like a Zudumon that is wearing the shell of an Archelomon bolted to its back. We have some very interesting names for our new Gabumon Ultimate. Marine Solar called it Coat Slayermon or Wear Coat Garurumon, with coat and fur being interchangeable, and she gave the following explanation. It digivolved into the ultimate level, Coat Slayermon, because it slayed its victim. Wear Coat Garurumon would allude to its WarGreymon-like features from 4 to 2 legs, Garur fur, etc., but again only a werewolf in its coat. My Hebrew friend called it GARURUMON, unfortunately with no extra information. If it were to become GARURUMON, then I'd say that I would be quite interested, as Gabumon would be linked to the Dragon Digimon. Richmond Kennedy would call it LUGARURUMON, with Loup-Garou being an alternative name for werewolves, and the name was given by Richmond Kennedy because he found this digivolution to look like WarGreymon. And to finish, there is Slick Otaku, who called it Kanimamon, probably a reference to the South American myth involving a shapeshifter in the form of a were-jaguar. Even if I don't immediately see the similarities, I do believe that the Kanima should be used to make different Digimon. Now to finish, we have the final evolution of Gabumon. That would be this giant golden cobra. And I must say that I am nothing short from being impressed to see the direction that was taken and even the looks. But to me it makes total sense. Gabumon needed the fur pelt of GARURUMON to become intimidating, and now it became a big snake, and snakes belong to the top 10 if not top 5 most intimidating animals in the planet. And in a way, we can say that Gabumon ultimately got what it wanted by following the natural route. It became intimidating. Also, Gabumon is a reptile and there is nothing more reptile than a snake, making this simply such a wonderful design. I love it. Now let us look at the names given by us fans. Marine Solar called it Slidermon or Slither Garurumon, with slither being a reference to the sound of snakes when they are moving, and Slither Garurumon would be the name to keep the Garuru line and to reference its snake-like body with the slightly wolf-like head. Slick Otaku called it Liknusmon, which I have no idea what it could be referring to, and my Hebrew friend called it WarGabumon, which I do find a very interesting name. Ali Mohammed wrote us a little story. He said the following: the Mega Digimon is covered by Gold Digizoid, which envelops its entire body. Gold Digizoid allows the user to attain high defensive and offensive power without losing speed and agility. This power was obtained when there was nothing left to overcome. It wouldn't have reached this form without the struggles it suffered as a rookie and bitter defeats as a champion, and learning to move on and better itself as an ultimate, and it managed to obtain it. Unlike its previous forms, it doesn't like to move after it chooses its territory. Marine Solar Body following. The Mega is quite a big jump, even if the ultimate one has a long tail to foreshadow the serpent in the end. The snake is known for shedding its skin, which the ultimate clearly did with the Garuru coat to get to this snake Mega, which is a nice reference. It still is way too strange for me to see this lizard or dragon with 2 to 4 legs suddenly turn to a full-on snake body, but well, in Digimon everything is possible, and being both reptiles makes it not too far-fetched at all. What I also want to add to the snake idea is that when someone is a traitor or vile, you can call them a snake. It fits a little bit the concept of this FanArt Digivolution line, because by wearing a Garuru coat, it could have tried to imitate to gain trust, but when shedding its coat, it reveals its true nature, being a snake. Hey guys, this is the end of the video. Poyomon made a very interesting Digivolution line for Gabumon, so again, for those who have Twitter, send the person my regards. You can even link this video to his or her Twitter account. I'm hoping it will motivate more people to make some great Digimon fan art for us to go over and evaluate. Oh, and by the way, I did say that Gabumon is the rookie Digimon I probably made most videos for. We're not done. Look at this fan art for Gabumon's Mega Digivolution. This one is called Final GARURUMON. It looks great, and I can't wait to dedicate a video to it after announcing it to receive more of your opinions. And this is just one sample. There are other examples like Final GABUMON, Final KABUTERIMON, Final ROSEMON, and more. All of them are made by the same author named Shenuka Ratwat, but we'll get to it. Anyway, make sure to share your opinions about Poyomon's Gabumon Digivolution line in the comment section. Make sure to check out the description box for all Gabumon related videos, and if you're new, please make sure to check out the different playlists where I sorted out all Digimon related videos. I placed all videos in dedicated playlists, that way it's easier for you to catch up on newer and older videos. This video you've seen belonged to the Digi fan art playlist, and you'll see that we've gone through several fan arts, but we'll go further and further. Also, don't forget to press the notification bell and subscribe to the Digimon Explained channel for more Digimon related content.